Last time we invited him, he used it against us.
Wait till I see you.
Hi guys, my name is Jerry Hase. I'm manager here at the MC AG here in Ullin, Illinois. Today we have Dr. Ford Baldwin. He's a retired weed scientist out of University of Arkansas. Most of all, today he's going to talk about technology as far as the new dicamba that's coming out, different seed genetics as far as when it comes to beans and corn and different things. We had probably somewhere around 50,000 acres represented here today. We had quite a few guys that come and was very interested in it, and they're wanting to learn. They're learning outside the box nowadays.
You're easily impressed if you were impressed last night, because I thought I laid an egg last night.
I even got his slides working today for him, so this is how he told me how to slide. He tapped me on the shoulder and I hit a button for him. So. Dr. Ford Baldwin.
All right. Now, never clap for a speaker before they speak, because you might regret it, you know, especially if I lay another egg like I thought I did last night. I'm just a huge fan of unbiased information. I don't care whether it's weed control research, variety testing, or whatever. But it seems like we've gotten off into an era of I've heard or I've been told. I mean, I'm told that all the time, and this isn't even part of my talk. I just got off on a tangent. But people just call me I've heard or I've been told. Well, who told you that, or where did you hear it from, and what did they have to sell you? And I don't like having all of the weed control recommendations I have to make tied up in a seed trade. I like the good old days. We all talk about the good old days, and what do some of us say? They really weren't all that good. But you know, back for a big part of my career, it didn't matter whose seed you planted. I could make weed control recommendations there any way I wanted to. But now it's different. I mean, once you pick a seed trait, then you've kind of boxed your weed guy in to what kind of recommendations he can make for you. And if you box him in the wrong box, you know, he may not be able to help you. When you get all of your weed control traits tied up, or weed control technology tied up in traits, then all of a sudden marketing managers and seed companies are kind of the drivers in this thing. And I don't mean that from a bad way, any way whatsoever. This was a poster boy for us, excellent farmer. A lot of people think this weed resistance thing and the grown-up mess thing only happened to bad farmers. Not necessarily the case at all. We had a lot of very good farmers that thought they were doing the right thing. There's a much bigger picture here that I hope you'll get. And I mean, if you're in a position of influence, or especially if you're a younger person that wants to be doing this for a long time, you got to get this. I mean, you guys my age, we ain't gonna change much, you know, and you'll probably ride it out. But you younger guys, if y'all want to be farming 10 years or 20 years or 30 years from now, you better get some of this. And one of them is our last new herbicide mode of action is over 30 years old. When I started as a graduate student at the University of Arkansas in 1969, the new herbicide screening program was bigger than all the rest of our weed science program put together. There was probably 20 companies at least screening new herbicides. The pipeline was full of new herbicides. Back then, they were releasing new herbicide candidates to universities much quicker than they do now. And that continued for quite a while. And we kind of got on what some guys, we had our Pigposium #2 in Arkansas Tuesday of this week. They had Pigposium 1 in, I think, 2010, had over 800 show up. Had about 350 show up the other day. But several of the guys talked about the herbicide treadmill. How we used one till it didn't work, then we just had another one coming along, was probably better. Used it till it didn't work, and that's the way it was there for quite a few years. We couldn't even get enough graduate students to do justice to looking at all the new technology coming down the pipeline to write recommendations for you guys at one time in my career. But that come to a screeching halt. There's not I don't know of a university that has a new herbicide screening program now, because there's no new herbicides. There's probably only, with the mergers, maybe 3 companies that are going to wind up that even have the potential to screen for new herbicides. So I don't want to give you a sky's falling talk, but what I am telling you, what you have is what you're going to have for at least the next 10 years.
Probably like drone shot of the facility, seeing where we are, what time of day, and then it'll probably cut to you saying kind of like big picture why we're here, what we're doing.
Today's one of those cool days. We get the chance to meet with Dr. Ford Baldwin and bring him in, give him a chance to speak to some of the local farmers here today. You know, a meeting like today, we may not sell a bag of seed, but we're getting a chance to speak with a really good researcher, a guy who completely understands the problems that we face in terms of managing weeds out here on the farm, and an opportunity to bring value to the local farmers here. So good day.